Welcome to part 2 of the Great Pop Culture Debate episode devoted to the best fast food franchise. Please pull up to the second drive-thru window. And by that, I mean my no-no parts. I'm your host, Eric Resniak, and I am again joined by my Fry Guys, Curtis Creekmore, Derek Makita, and Michael Barber. I hope you already listened to part 1 of the podcast, where we narrowed down the top 32 to the salty 16. If you haven't, please check your receipt and head to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to fine podcasts and give it a listen. So we're going to jump into the round 2 battles. We have our top 16. First up, it's Shake Shack entering the competition versus Arby's. And I'm going to let Michael start with defending Shake Shack.
Okay, Eric, you can't see right now, but I have a little twinkle in my eye when we're talking about Shake Shack. Because when we talk about iconic American fast food meal, in my book, that is burger, shake, and fries. And really, nobody on this bracket does it better than Shake Shack. Their food is consistently delicious, which is not something I can say about the vast majority of the other restaurant picks on this bracket. On top of that, they offer wine and beer in addition to their burger, shake, and fries, which is the perfect accompaniment to your fast food meal. And also, I feel like it's the grown-up version of McDonald's. McDonald's was like our childhood, and Shake Shack is now. It's like everything that I could ever want in a fast food restaurant.
All right. Curtis, you're going to take on Arby's.
Yeah, all you bougie-ass people that had Shake Shack. So I am originally from Williamsburg, Kentucky. When I was there, there were about 3,000 people in the entire town. But we had 19 different fast food restaurants because we were the last town on the interstate before you got to Tennessee. So everybody stopped for gas or they would stop for food. And Arby's was one of the restaurants that my family went to the most. And the day that I turned 16, my mom started sending me out to go get food or go get her a cup of coffee at McDonald's, or Curtis, go get me a roast beef sandwich at Arby's, but then go over and get me a potato from Wendy's. I love you, Mom. But it was all true. And Arby's, Derek said it earlier, where else can you get a good roast beef sandwich? And then they took that roast beef sandwich and they covered it with fucking cheese and called it a beef and cheddar. It is delicious. I remember from breakfast as a kid, because I was obese, we would go and we would get ham and Swiss croissants. You probably have not had them. They probably don't even make them anymore, but they were so good. And Low Bland Curtis, I know Derek said in episode 1 that for him, White Castle was spicy. But for me, I learned about horseradish because of Arby's. Their horsey sauce, you could slather literally anything with horsey sauce, and it was so much better. It's just, Arby's is delicious. And it's really funny because after I moved to New England, I moved to Boston, and I told people, I'm like, yeah, let's go to Arby's. Like, I was really excited about it. They would look at me with absolute disgust because I think like there is a very real difference in the quality level between a Southern Arby's and a Northern Arby's. And that's very sad to me. So I feel like I am very well supported by the people in the South who were listening to this. And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, curly fries. And it is a hill I will die on, but will die nonetheless, I fear.
That's amazing. First of all, again, so glad that the childhood trauma continues in part 2. This is, we're keeping our psychologists well employed.
Yeah. How many of you had to go from one restaurant to another restaurant because your mom couldn't decide on one thing she wanted?
Love it. Point. It is a good point. I will say it's funny. Arby's also makes I connect my mother with Arby's too, because she was fucking crazy for that horsey sauce with her roast beef sandwiches. That was like her thing. She got really excited about it. My feelings on Arby's are weirdly polarized by 2 specific pop culture moments. On the one hand, you have the 30 Rock episode early in season 1 where Jack and his ex-wife, played by Isabella Rossellini, are fighting over their Arby's franchise. She's like, I'm a Jack, you know I love my big beef and cheddar. But then you also have my all-time favorite Simpsons episode where the kids all get stuck on an island and it's Lord of the Fries. And one of them says, I'm so hungry, I could eat at Arby's.
We literally just watched that episode.
It is my favorite Simpsons of all time, and it made me howl. And I even like Arby's. So I have to say, I am very swayable here. If it's 2020 and Eric has to decide between which one he's going to go to, I'm going to go to Shake Shack because I actually don't like the burgers at Shake Shack as much as I like their chicken sandwich, which is the fucking shit. That's what I get when I go to Shake Shack. And I love their concretes, except they're, again, like really, really intense. And but that's not a bad problem to have. Derek, where are you coming down?
I think the food at Shake Shack is superior. I will give that to Michael. I just don't find the food at Shake Shack memorable at all. I just don't.
Eric, Jamocha. Also a very good drag name. Welcome to the stage, Jamocha Shake.
Jamocha Shake.
We also say diarrhea because that is something that I've definitely had after eating at Arby's and something that I've never had after eating at Shake Shack.
Maybe it's something that I just got used to as a child, that I was totally, like, constantly diuretic, but Jamocha Shake.
Jamocha Shakes. So, Derek, if you had to choose, which one are you going with?
I'm probably going to have to stick with Arby's.
All right. And Michael, you and I are sticking with Shake Shack.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. So the way this works,
Game. I hate it.
But I believe if we look at seedings, I want to say that Arby's also was a lower seeding than Shake Shack. I could be wrong, but I think that is true.
Because of the diarrhea.
But so no one's willing to sway on this, right? We are at deadlocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it would just be you, Eric. You're the one that I try to bring over.
I can't prop up Arby's because of that Simpsons episode.
But Arby's would not be nearly as memorable if it weren't, like, it's obviously a pop culture moment. When have you ever heard Shake Shack mentioned in a television show, especially like The Simpsons? And if it happened, it was in season 30, which sucked.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, that is true. Arby's is certainly better known. But I have to say, like, I cannot even tell you the last time I went to an Arby's. I cannot even tell you what I would even order if I went to an Arby's. Whereas if I go to Shake Shack, there's a multitude of things that I would order off that menu and be very satisfied. So for that reason, I'm sticking with Shake Shack, and I'm afraid that means it's moving forward. So hate me. It's fine. I'm used to it. Moving on. We're going to KFC versus Popeyes. This is a fucking battle of the chicken titans. Oh. Hold on to your tendies, kids, because here it comes. Curtis, KFC first.
The first Kentucky Fried Chicken is 11 miles from my house, like where I grew up. I'm originally from there. Yes, of course I'm biased. We didn't have any other chicken restaurants because the first fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken was there. You go to China, it's KFC. You go to Japan, it's KFC. It is a worldwide phenomenon. I took Michael, my husband who is standing next to me, to the Colonel Harlan Sanders Museum, which is at the first Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it was an experience.
It was a very nice date.
It's literally like a statue inside the restaurant.
Oh my God.
Like, go there. It's like a pilgrimage if you like the 11 secret herbs and spices, which apparently they recently found. I don't know. Kentucky Fried Chicken to me is like, it's so important because it is my youth. It was what I grew up with. And like, to me, that is the best biscuit you can find. And I know that that is saying something, but like at a fast food restaurant, I think KFC has the best biscuit, especially from any of the chicken restaurants. Some other places might have good chicken, but across the board, Kentucky Fried Chicken has what I think is the best meal.
Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Derek for the Popeyes defense.
Oh my God, where do I even fucking begin? You know what? No, I'm sorry. You do not win the biscuit war. Popeyes, I mean, I know that some of you have had Popeyes biscuits. They are like drenched in butter while they're like, I could have two. I could have two right now and just be completely satisfied. I could not have just a KFC biscuit and be like, you know what? That was good. No, sorry. Not going to happen. Did KFC chicken sandwiches break the internet? Did KFC run out of chicken sandwiches? No, I don't think so. That was Popeyes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, yes.
KFC made a chicken sandwich out of a chicken fucking sandwich. It was called the Double Down.
That's right. They did.
You know what? And our arteries are better for not eating it. Listen, Popeyes has superior chicken tenders, and you know that I'm a whore for the chicken finger. Thank you very much. You can also, at several Popeyes locations throughout this country, get actual soul food like jambalaya. So the breadth of offering at Popeyes is just superior, from the chicken to the biscuits to the sides. Everything it's fresh and it just tastes good, and it's not been sitting in under a heat lamp. And it's just the superior chicken chain to me. It just always will be.
Michael, where are you coming down here?
Oh God. Honestly, I have just not had a lot of Popeyes experience. But it was really a really good date that he took me on, and I felt I felt like he cared about me and it meant something to him. So I'm sorry. I just feel like I would be sinning terribly if I didn't pick KFC here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is gay love right here.
He also knows he wouldn't be allowed to sleep in bed with me if he doesn't pick KFC.
A man taking his beau to the Colonel Sanders Museum and his beau appreciating enough to eventually marry him and then vote on his behalf.
That is some white noise right there.
That's amazing. I'm torn here because I actually think they're both really good. I give Popeyes the nod for the chicken. I think it's better. I think it's got more flavor to it. I give KFC the nod for the sides. I do think KFC has better sides for me than Popeyes. When we get Popeyes, I find myself being like, I get two sides. I really only want one of these things. Whereas with KFC, it's actually a struggle. And even as I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know how sad I find these words that are coming out of my mouth. That's depressing. It's like a fucking confession over here. I disagree with Curtis that KFC has the superior biscuit. I agree with Derek that the Popeyes biscuit is better. But I think I'm going with Curtis with KFC over Popeyes. And I'll tell you one of the reasons I'm doing it, Derek. That chicken sandwich was so fucking overhyped.
Ooh.
It was so overhyped. I agree with you. It broke the internet. People were losing their minds. And so I was like, I guess I got to get this chicken sandwich. So I get the fucking chicken sandwich. I'm like, what are people going crazy over? It was thoroughly pedestrian. Tell me, Derek, what am I missing in this magical Popeyes chicken sandwich that apparently I was not getting?
It's just superior chicken. The flavor of the chicken itself is just superior in every way.
And I do not deny that the chicken by itself at Popeyes is better than the chicken at KFC. But my argument is that as an entity, I think I have better options at KFC than I do at Popeyes. I genuinely believe that. Again,
So you're saying that KFC is winning because they have better sides when we're talking about chicken against chicken, really?
No, we're talking about fast food establishment versus fast food establishment. If this was best fried chicken, I would be moving forward Popeyes. But we're talking about restaurants, and it's not just the sides. I think KFC has a broader variety of different things that you can order. You've got your regular buckets of chicken. You've got your crispy strips. You've got your popcorn chicken. You've got your pot pies. Oh, God. Again, just listing this off, I'm like, look at your life. Look at your choices, you fat bitch. I just think, and as Curtis pointed out, they had the double down. Is that what it's called?
The double down,
which is magnificent that it even existed. A sandwich made out of 2 chicken breasts. That's incredible. I also think they also right now have a donut chicken sandwich. Is that right?
That's disgusting.
I think it's a glazed donut chicken sandwich.
I do not know. I don't know.
Do not come for me if I'm wrong about this.
Listen, Eric, choices.
Okay, speaking of drag, who else put Reba fucking McEntire in drag for their commercial? Who else would she agree to that?
Oh, Curtis is right. Those I used the ads for the Burger King in the last round. The ads campaign for KFC is far superior. Does Popeyes even have ads?
They do, but they're not great.
Was there something else that Curtis or Michael needed to interject here?
That was it. Reba and drag.
Reba and Drag, and also like just the rotating like SNL cast members as the Colonel. That in and of itself is a great mini-sode. Like the cultural fucked up heritage of Colonel Sanders, because also confident that there's not some great things there from a racial perspective. But with that, I think it's 3-1 KFC advances. And I will accept that we are going to get a shit ton of hate mail for this. And I think that the listeners are going to be on Derek's side on that. That's my prediction. I think people are going to be like, you're crazy, white people. It should be Popeyes. I will live with that.
Listen, I feel internally vindicated, so I'm just going to stay with that.
Good. That's all I care about.
Derek, get chicken fingered.
That should also be on a t-shirt. All right. Next up, we have Chipotle versus Cold Stone Creamery. I'm going to let Michael go first so I can come back and kick his ass.
Oh, Lord. I mean, for me, this is just a simple matter of maths, okay? I think about 50%, maybe that's generous, 50% of the times that I've gone to Chipotle, those experiences have ended in indigestion and regret. Sure, it tastes good in the moment, but afterwards, good Lord, I feel like a dump truck. Also, if someone were to ask me, the first restaurant that comes to mind when you say the word E. coli, hi, Chipotle.
Fair point.
Chipotle without hesitation. Also, paying extra for guacamole, no, absolutely not. Finally, Steve Ells, he is the founder of Chipotle. I don't know if y'all remember America's Next Great Restaurant. This aired about 10 years ago. Even though it was 10 years ago, I still remember how much of an asshole that man was on that show. And he thought everybody should use Chipotle's model for everything. And he was just a jerk. And I hated him for that. And every time I go to Chipotle, I think of that man. I regret, on the other hand, 0% of the times that I've been to Cold Stone Creamery because it is fucking ice cream and it is delicious and I am always a happy man afterwards. I realize again that I spent all the time railing against Chipotle, but I just hate feeling like a dump truck.
And I love feeling like a dump truck. It's part of my aesthetic. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge ice cream connoisseur, and I will completely acknowledge that the ice cream at Cold Stone is quite good, and they do a lot of things very well. However, I think Chipotle, for as total like white nonsense as it is quality fast food. I think it's delicious. I think it's fast. I think you can make it healthy, and I am always satisfied. I never go to Chipotle and feel like I regretted the decisions I make. Like literally never. We can knock them for making the guacamole extra, but that guacamole is fucking delicious. I always enjoy the guacamole when I get it at Chipotle. I pay extra every single time because it's worth it. Like when you're ordering from Chipotle, are you getting burritos? Is that what you're getting, Michael?
I don't know. I guess I try to avoid it because I really hate the way I feel afterwards. Like I'm not making this up. It's just like
I hear you. I have to say, like the salads, the bowls, the burritos, the tacos. I literally like every fucking thing on that menu. I think it's delicious. It tastes fresh to me. To me, there's nothing bad about Chipotle. I feel completely confident in my support of this restaurant.
Well, I must just have a frail digestive system then.
Where are you coming down on this, Curtis?
Chipotle. I mean, I went hard against Cold Stone earlier. It is good ice cream, but Chipotle. I'm a Qdoba kid, and it went out early. Like when we didn't have it in hometown, but when I went to college, we had a Qdoba. I don't think we had Chipotle, so I'm going to stand. I feel like Qdoba is the ugly stepsister of Chipotle, so going to go with that.
I agree with that. And what about you, Derek?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've never actually had Chipotle. But you know what? There's a bunch of restaurants in here that I've never actually eaten at. So, I mean, I can't. I should vote for Cold Stone because it's something I've actually eaten. However, I think that Chipotle is probably a superior restaurant. That's all I have to say about that. So
they don't sing at you.
That's very true. Yeah,
that's true. And the chips are also really tasty. Like they're just salty enough without being disgusting. And again, they taste fresh. So we're moving Chipotle on. Sorry, Michael.
That's fine.
Next up, we have In-N-Out Burger versus McDonald's. And I think at this point, no one on our group is going to vote for In-N-Out over McDonald's. Is that correct? Michael?
Correct. Yeah. Oh no, definitely McDonald's.
Yeah, who among us have actually eaten at In-N-Out?
I
I
have
have.
lots of times. They have tons
Yeah.
of them out on the West Coast.
Yes.
It's definitely like overhyped in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree, and this is like when I used to go to like conferences and stuff on the West Coast, I would eat an In-N-Out burger, and I would say, I don't really understand what all the fuss is about, and people would say to me, "Oh, you need to know about the secret menu." And let me say this: if the secret to enjoying a restaurant is being able to order things that are not actually on the menu, fuck you. Like that's stupid. I shouldn't need a decoder ring to find something to like about your menu. Like that's dumb. And it's elitist and I think it's stupid. So In-N-Out to me is way overhyped. I've never understood the allure. And even if there was like some fantastic burger that's to be made from the items they have hidden somewhere in the kitchen, I don't think it's better than any of the burgers and any of the other ones we have left here, except for maybe McDonald's, which I know I'm supposed to be talking up right now. So let me take that off. McDonald's probably has worse burgers than In-N-Out. I'll even go so far as to say it definitely has worse burgers than In-N-Out. But everything else McDonald's does is better than In-N-Out, I think. I think the fries are better. I think the like assorted other things are better. And it's fucking McDonald's. Let me know when In-N-Out has a play place, and then we can have a conversation.
Thank you.
Also toys, Barbies. Oh my god.
Don't know.
Absolutely.
Nobody
Eric,
talk-
Eric, the very name is the play place.
The very name is the play place.
In-N-Out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's true. There you go.
Huh?
That's true. But for me, I don't want to shoot our load on McDonald's because I'm pretty sure that's coming.
Right. I need to be able to defend this later. So everybody shut the fuck up.
So we're going to go with a unanimous victory for McDonald's over In-N-Out and move on to Five Guys Burgers and Fries versus Dairy Queen. And Derek, you've got Five Guys.
Yes. So what you're not getting at Five Guys is good interior decor. I mean, frankly, it looks like it was inspired by the Costco food court. But Five Guys is one of the few places on this list where you can actually get a quality hot dog. They also know when to limit their menu. There really isn't a lot of complication to Five Guys' menu because they know what they do well and they stick to it. And also, it is one of the very few places on this list where you can get fresh cut French fries, and they're fucking delicious. I'm sorry. Like, over Dairy Queen, the food is it's just superior in every way.
All right, Curtis, I'm going to have you support Dairy Queen.
You would think, coming from the South, I would be one of the people that would enjoy walking on peanut shells while I was trying to order my food. But in fact, no. Five Guys is fine. Their food is fine. Their fries are fine. I do appreciate that you can get so many different toppings to add to your burger. That's one of the, like, they have a wide array. I do appreciate that. But Dairy Queen is the ice cream king / queen. Blizzards were like, that's a quintessential childhood dessert for me. And you would always go to the drive-thru and you would sit and pray in the back seat that they would forget to flip it upside down so that it would be free, because we were poor and we still are. So I still I don't even know if they're still doing that anymore, if that's a thing. But Blizzards were my favorite thing to get as a kid. They were so delicious. Every year, my twin cousins would have a birthday party, and they would always get a Dairy Queen ice cream cake for their birthday. And I think you all probably had Carvel up here.
Yes.
But for me, we did not have Carvel. We had fucking Dairy Queen. And that has some really positive memories associated with it for me, as it does for most fat kids, I would say, especially like Southern fat kids, because we didn't have anything else. Like, when you say ice cream, it's not Cold Stone. For us, it wasn't even Ben & Jerry's. It's Dairy Queen. So to me, representing the state of Kentucky, I am your miss. No, like, that is Dairy Queen.
You are Miss Dairy Queen. Where are you coming down on this one, Michael?
I think I said Five Guys initially, and I think I'm going to have to stick with that because honestly, like Derek said, it's just, well, aside from their hot dogs, they actually really do have good burgers and fries too.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few places where you get free stuff on this list. Free peanuts. Hello. That's great. I want a little appetizer getting ready for my meal as I'm waiting for it. And
Trash.
Well, you know what? Not just that. I think one thing I didn't bring up with Five Guys is they have a very complete menu of milkshakes,
they do.
like very fresh milkshakes and very complete. So that is another thing that Five Guys does very well.
Yeah,
And they're good.
I love Dairy Queen. It is very nostalgic for me. It is another place my dad took us, one of the good places he took us. And I don't know. It's just the burgers at Five Guys are just so good. It edges it out for me.
And I will say, Curtis, you kind of queued this up yourself. We did not have Dairy Queen. Like I never went to a Dairy Queen until I was in like my 30s is when they started to appear in like upstate New York. It was Carvel or it was nothing. And shout out to Carvel. I fucking love Carvel.
Oh, yes.
Carvel's the shit. And to me, that's my ice cream cake from when I was a kid. But I have nothing bad to say about Dairy Queen. I think it's good, but I think the ice cream and shakes and stuff is good. The food at Dairy Queen, it's nothing remarkable. Whereas I think Five Guys, the whole menu, top to bottom, is outstanding. And I'm never going to say no to unlimited toppings, baby. So for me, it's Five Guys. I think you are the cheese standing alone is the Dairy Queen on this one, Curtis. So we are going to crown it. We're going to advance Five Guys. Next, it's Dunkin' Donuts versus Wendy's. And after the drubbing that my beloved Dunks received in round one, I'm just going to turn it over to Michael to speak on behalf of Wendy's.
Yeah. There's not much else about Dunks negatively that I can say that Curtis didn't already say. They had two easy jobs, make good coffee and good donuts. They do neither of those things well, in my opinion.
You're still finding a way to say negative things about them. I want to point that out.
Okay, Wendy's, on the other hand, is one of the best fast food restaurants. It has unique menu items that you really can't get at any of the other, like, really popular fast food restaurants, like their chili, their baked potatoes. Delicious. Not everybody gets them all the time. They should. They're really delicious. On their value menu, they have one of the best value menus of all the fast food restaurants. The 4 for $4 meal is incredible. It is one of the best cheap deals, full meals you can get at any fast food restaurant. Wendy's has a very sassy Twitter account. They have a great media presence. I have pulled up a couple of their select tweets insulting other fast food restaurants delightfully. In 2017, McDonald's tweeted, "Today, we've announced that by mid-2018, all Quarter Pounder burgers at the majority of our restaurants will be cooked with fresh beef." Wendy's replied, "So, you'll still use frozen beef in most of your burgers in all of your restaurants? Asking for a friend." That is what I want from my fast food restaurant. Something that's self-aware and funny and delicious.
Those are excellent arguments. And let me just say this. I was not trying to shit on you for continuing to shit on Dunks. I understand. You've done a great job. And I think it's fine for Dunks to bow out at this point. It made it through round one. That's all I needed to do. Curtis and Derek, you're not planning to vote for Dunks here, right?
Absolutely not.
No, ma'am.
And I think we're going to discuss Wendy's more next round, but because I may not get a chance to do this, you were talking about the dollar menu with Wendy's, Michael, and it reminded me there's an amazing, incredibly filthy rapper named Cupcake out there, and she has a great song called Garfield, and there's a line in it where the guy says, "What's better than this dick? Let me know, no, no." I looked him straight in the eye and said Wendy's 4 for 4. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, it's a unanimous victory for Wendy's. Yeah. Thank you, Cupcake. Next up, it was Taco Bell versus Starbucks. And Curtis, you're going to take us to Dinger, as my friends used to call it in college.
Okay. This is a tough one, honestly, for me, because I really do love Starbucks. Like, we literally ate there this morning. We went to Shaw's and did our grocery shopping, and then we were like, we don't want to cook. So there was a Starbucks there, and we got it. That's not to say that Starbucks isn't good. It's just, it literally is everywhere. When I was in college, the Taco Bell that we had right next to our campus was a Taco Bell Pizza Hut combo. So you could get your breadsticks and your chalupa at the same time. And I'm saying Yum knows what they're doing. Yum is located at the headquarters is in Louisville, Kentucky. You can go look at their palatial little mansion up on the hill. They know what they're doing. Taco Bell is everything you need it to be. Taco Bell is like the ex that you always know you can call for a hate fuck. It's 3 a.m. You need something to fill you up. Taco Bell is there for you.
God, now I'm horny and I'm hungry.
Much like Taco Bell, you wake up the next morning with deep regret, but you know you will always go back for more.
This is a compelling argument, ladies and gentlemen. I'm supposed to be talking up Starbucks, but I'm here and like hate fucking and, you know, going back to terrible exes, and I'm like, that's who I am. But so I'll say this for Starbucks. Michael kind of touched on this earlier. Everybody has a Starbucks order. Everybody does. Curtis, what's your Starbucks order?
Venti chai latte, non-fat, no foam, no water.
Michael, what's your Starbucks order?
Grande soy latte. Thank you very much.
Derek, what's your Starbucks order?
I don't drink coffee.
Okay. Derek being the exception that proves the rule. And mine is a venti iced chai made with skim milk with whipped cream. Does that mean it should be beating Taco Bell here? I don't know. Because here's the thing. We talked, ubiquity does not necessarily equal excellence. I agree with that. But Taco Bell also, I think, was the way that a lot of sad white poor kids were introduced to Mexican food. Like, if I could say it, does that seem correct?
Thank you for supporting me.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I did. I remember a birthday years ago, and my mom said, what do you want for your birthday dinner? And I said, tacos. And she's like, okay, I guess we're going to Taco Bell. And I was living. Honey, I was living. But I will say this. I recently tried Taco Bell again, and I was so disappointed by it. Like, it had no flavor. I think years of eating Chipotle at this point, like comparing Chipotle to Taco Bell, it's kind of like we were saying, like Shake Shack is the adult version of what you were used to at McDonald's. Chipotle is the adult version of what I got used to with Taco Bell. But as I say this, I'm having very intense memories of being a student at Syracuse University and being in the Kimmel food court and watching The Price is Right at noon and ordering like gigantic chili cheese burritos from the Taco Bell stand there. And that got me through fucking being in college. So I'm really torn here. I know I'm supposed to be like propping up Starbucks, but I'm going to put it up to a vote. Derek, where are you?
Taco Bell won the franchise wars in the future in Demolition Man. So all restaurants are now Taco Bell.
All restaurants are now Taco Bell. And what about you, Michael?
Okay, this between Starbucks and Taco Bell was my Sophie's choice on the bracket because among all the fast food restaurants, Curtis and I attend these two the most frequently. But I had to land on Taco Bell because it gives you a fast food experience that Starbucks cannot give you, and that is coming home and just shoving fast food in your face. Nobody is going to Starbucks and getting a protein box and coming home and shoving hard-boiled eggs in their faces. No. It's chalupa. That is what I want.
All right. Yeah, I think it's unanimous here. We're going to advance Taco Bell. Finally, in round 2, we have Burger King versus Raising Cane chicken fingers. Derek, take it away on the chicken fingies.
Okay. First of all, I'd like us to all establish that Burger King just kind of sucks on so many levels.
Yes.
We've already established this. However, I know not all of you have eaten at Raising Cane's chicken fingers, but let me tell you about their business model for a moment. It's fucking chicken fingers, and that's all they do. Literally, it is the only thing on their menu is different orders of chicken fingers. Like, do you want a 3-piece, a 4-piece, a 5-piece? It's all chicken fingers. And they have, and I don't say this lightly, the best crinkle fries out of all the fast food restaurants. They're just perfection. They're perfection. And all of these meals come with a piece of Texas toast, which just like sends it over the top for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to argue that hard with Burger King here. First of all, I know this panel's not going to go for it. I will maintain that the Whopper is better than the other like major sandwiches at the other chains. And I think actually the cheeseburgers at Burger King are better than the cheeseburgers at least McDonald's, probably not Wendy's. But I'm not going to bother arguing that in any other way it's superior. So I'm fine if we advance Raising Cane, with the asterisk on this, that the only reason that Raising Cane is even still in this competition is because it was up against Chick-fil-A in round 1.
Yep.
And Chick-fil-A, we were not going to advance for political reasons. So we have a 7 seed making it to the Elite 8. And I think that's kind of bullshit, but that's fine.
Eric, can I argue for a moment at least?
Yes.
I'm not saying that Burger King is the best. I don't think that it should win this bracket, but Derek kind of convinced me that I needed to stand up off my chair and actually like do something, because if the only thing that you're offering is chicken fingers, I can go to any number of other restaurants that provide chicken fingers, and sure, they're maybe not quite as good as what you would get at Raising Cane's, but they have so many other things that you could also get at the same time that make it worth my while. I've never eaten Raising Cane's before that I can think of, and that should tell you something, because if I actually have and I didn't put it up against especially like Chick-fil-A or whatever, then that should tell you something. But Burger King, even with the rat story, like a couple years ago, I guess it was like over a decade at this point, they did like the fry war, where it was like between Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's who had the best fries. I think Burger King won. Am I wrong?
That's
a lie. That's a lie.
Okay, so I that was an actual question, because I'm not really sure. I thought that Burger King actually won that. Just whatever.
in their own mind, I'm sure they did.
Okay, sure. In any case, like Burger King isn't as bad. They at least taste different than most other burger places that you go to because of the whole flame broiled thing. Like they really do flame broil their burgers, and it gives them a different taste than putting them on a flat top, where I burned my hand when I worked at McDonald's, just remembering that memory. I will vote for Burger King. I don't remember what I put on my bracket, but I'm going to vote for Burger King even if you all push Cane's forward, just because if I wanted chicken, I would go somewhere else.
That's fair. I think I'm actually going to vote for Raising Cane's, just because at this point, I don't feel strongly enough for Burger King to move it forward, and we have enough other burger places in the Elite 8 that I don't feel we need it. Michael killed a man, and so he's never going to support Burger King. So for that reason, I'll support Raising Cane. I'm fine with it. Michael, are you voting for Raising Cane?
Yeah, I cannot vote for Burger King because every time I'm at Burger King, I would rather be at McDonald's or Wendy's or at home.
There you go.
I would like to have one last plug for Raising Cane's, because I know that all three of you have not eaten there. Am I correct about that?
It's not going any further.
I'm just saying that it is fantastic chicken tenders, like fresh chicken, like not frozen, put it in a fryer. It is fresh chicken. It is juicy, and that M word I'm not going to use. So for that reason alone, I need you guys to trust me on this. You're making the right decision.
All right, so we will advance to Raising Cane's, and with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to order up some tendies, and we will see you in just a few seconds. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Eric.
So I'm a Patreon subscriber. Obviously, I'm also the host, but I subscribe to Patreon. I believe you are too.
I am, yes.
And when I go to get my fast food and I'm in the car, I go ahead and I put on some of the things that are exclusive to Patreon. Do you do that too?
I do, yes.
And what are some of the features that you like the most?
You know, it's the access to exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else. It's the warm-up episodes. It's the completely unaired season 0 episodes that are booger as fuck, but so good to listen to. It's stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And that is why I am proud to support the Great Pop Culture Debate on Patreon.
That's great. And for your promotions and like, thank you for doing that. You allow us to actually pay for editing and for promotions and that type of thing. So we could not do this show without it. We do appreciate it. Also, if you are a Patreon subscriber at the $2 or more level a month, you get to suggest 5 topics that we will consider for future seasons. Other people don't get to do that. So it's a pretty cool deal.
I think that's fantastic.
I think it's fantastic too. And we do need your ideas. We want your ideas because ultimately this podcast is about your picks. We may make the decisions, but you tell us what to talk about. So thank you again, Derek, for being a Patreon subscriber. And if you have not done so yet, please go to patreon.com/Great Pop Culture Debate and considering supporting us at any level. All right, we are back with round 3 of the best fast food franchise debate. We are down to our Elite 8. First up, it's Shake Shack versus KFC. And we're just going to go straight to votes on this one. Michael, where are you coming down on this?
Shake Shack, wine and beer.
Wine and beer. Derek, how about you?
Shake Shack, 100%.
Curtis?
Fuck y'all. Okay. I've had Shake Shack a number of times at this point. It's fine, but I will die a Kentuckian today. So KFC.
And y'all wanted a twist? Here's the thing. I'm looking at this Elite 8 as a whole, right? And again, like, I don't want it to be like 4 burger places, even though that is a lot of what fast food is, and then 4 other things. And for me, if I have to decide fast food, again, we're in the pandemic right now. We've ordered KFC more times than we've ordered Shake Shack. And there's a Shake Shack like 4 blocks from our apartment. So I think that it's satisfying and it's different than just a general burger place. So for that reason, I'm going KFC here. I also think of the other burger places in the Elite 8, there are better burgers on this list, and I'm going to be supporting those.
I agree with that. And I also will say that Shake Shack has a barrier to entry in that they're priced quite high. Mm-hmm. Whereas KFC, you can actually afford.
Anyone can afford KFC, absolutely. Yeah. Michael, are you staying steadfast in Shake Shack?
Absolutely, and I am appalled.
That's fine. Duly noted. Derek, are you swaying to KFC?
I will sway to KFC, yes.
Curtis?
Oh my God.
Okay, so I can tell what you're doing. I see it looking at the bracket, and it made me really think about switching over to Shake Shack because I know what your ultimate winner is. And I see the second you said something about having too many burger places, I'm like, oh, but I can't. I cannot do it. I can't do it to Kentucky. So yes, I will pick KFC.
And let me say that I am so deeply touched that you think that I'm trying to use my manipulative powers for this. But honestly, I don't even remember what I have winning. I'm being completely open to whatever happens here. And so, no, it's true. Like, I do not have a horse in this race because my arteries are clogged from all of these various establishments. But again, I love you for thinking that I'm being Alexis Carrington and trying to, divine some amazing secret plan. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening. We are going to move ahead KFC, the 12th secret spice being Spite, courtesy of Michael Barber.
That's how I make it.
Exactly. And we are going to move on to Chipotle versus McDonald's. I'm going to start with Derek.
McDonald's French fries, I'm sorry. Like, McDonald's could sell nothing but their French fries and they would still be like the largest fast food restaurant in the world. I don't know what kind of crack they make them with, but it's good crack and I've bought it.
I think Curtis and I both worked at McDonald's, so we can speak to the crack. But Curtis, where are you coming down here?
I worked there for an entire week. When I started working there, they gave me a 3XL uniform because they didn't have anything else. And at that point, I was wearing a medium.
Oof.
Oh,
so
no.
I had to literally slut tie it in a knot at my head so that it would not catch on fire.
Oh my
I'm
God.
still picking McDonald's because it is that it's just so nostalgic for me. I love McDonald's.
Michael.
Yeah, so quick story. You know those 5-gallon tubs of laundry detergent? Yeah, the big blue ones?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So we had 5 of those as children, completely full of McDonald's toys, because that is how frequently we went to McDonald's as a family. That was like half of my childhood toys, at least. So this is so easy for me. McDonald's.
So I worked at McDonald's for an entire, I want to say it was 8 months. It was my first like quote unquote real job. And I would say that immediately after working McDonald's, I refused to eat at McDonald's for like a solid year because I saw
Only
what
a
was
year.
going on.
Only a year.
Yeah. Shit was going on behind the scenes that I found incredibly disturbing. And like, oh, don't eat that. You don't want to know how that was actually made. But now, 20 something years later, I will go to McDonald's as a standby. I think, in fact, we had it just the other night because Ryan was just like, I'm really craving. I just want a fucking Big Mac meal and a goddamn thing of nuggets, and I'm going to be totally satisfied. And he was right. And then hilariously, like later that night, a commercial comes on from McDonald's talking about sometimes we're essential workers and sometimes what you need in this world is a Big Mac to make you feel better. I was like, Ryan, are you working for the ad company? Yeah, there's like, is McDonald's the best food on this list? No one is saying it is, although the fries are the best. But my God, there's just, it is well done. It is a well-oiled machine, that oil being grease.
Mhm.
It is, you can't dispute its cultural impact and its reach. McDonald's is known globally for a reason, and it wouldn't be known that well if there wasn't something behind it, of value, of quality. Also, I think there's a great podcast to be done on all of the failed McDonald's products over the year, because there are some humdingers like the McDLT and those salad shakers. Do you remember those from the 90s?
I had so many of those.
Yes. Like there's a funny thing to be done there. So tune in for that one later. We are advancing McDonald's unanimously. Next up, it's Five Guys versus Wendy's. I think this is going to get ugly. Michael Barber, you're up.
Oh my god. Okay, this is hard. I'm really torn, but I'm gonna have to lean on Five Guys because I feel like Wendy's recently, as far as my experiences go, have not been as great because of the drive-through experience. I've sat there for like way too long, much longer than is acceptable to sit at a Wendy's to get food. And they've also upped a lot of their value menu prices. They still have the 4 for $4, which is standby, but a lot of the other things have changed. Five Guys is always pleasing. I'm always happy when I go there. The burger is always delicious. Wendy's is sometimes just not as great.
Fair. I'm going to go to Curtis.
I may push him out this window that we're How dare you, sir? You're letting one franchise of one organization ruin you when... So let's focus on the 4 for $4, because how many fucking 4 for $4s have I eaten thinking that you get an entire sandwich, an entire 4 nuggets, and a fry, and a drink for $4? And it's not even like shit food. Like it's
good.
It's pretty good food. And you get all of that for $4. And then you go to Five Guys and $4 buys you nothing. It buys you the fucking peanut shells on the ground.
We've also forgotten the F word, Frosty. Oh my gosh.
And I don't even like chocolate, like flavored thing. I love chocolate. I do not like chocolate flavored things. So I'm not a big fan of the chocolate Frosty. I will eat the shit out of a vanilla Frosty though. And I just had this conversation with my colleagues. They put a poll in our Slack. How many of you dip your French fries in your chocolate Frosty? And it lit up like a fucking Christmas tree because everybody loves Wendy's. I had never heard of Five Guys until I moved to Boston. How dare you turn your back?
Derek, you.
I have to give this to the redhead, honestly, because Wendy's just like, it's the superior chain. I take back what I was saying earlier about the ubiquity. Like, you can find Wendy's pretty much everywhere. And you know what? Your experience may vary, but generally people have a positive opinion of Wendy's. The burgers are very good. You can actually get chili at Wendy's. I don't think you can get chili at any of these other restaurants. Maybe Taco Bell?
No. Maybe? I don't even think you can.
No. So, I mean, for that reason alone, I mean, I completely agree. What I said before about the barrier to entry with Shake Shack, Five Guys burgers and fries, even if you get a little hamburger, a little fry, and like a regular drink, you are not getting out of that restaurant for less than $13, which is insane. It's insane.
Yep. Okay, I'm sold. I'm switching my vote. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's nothing to be sorry about. This is what this is about. Like, it's impassioned arguments, and we're all doing a much better job arguing about fast food places than I was afraid we were going to.
I just fucking love Frosty. Like fries and Frosty is like one of the perfect bites of all time.
Yeah, it's funny because I was also really torn on this one, and my initial thought is the burgers at Five Guys are better. They are. And that's not knocking Wendy's burgers. Wendy's burgers for fast food burgers, I think are quite good.
Yep.
I still stand by that. Like the Whopper is better than the double, but when we're talking like the more like signature burgers at Wendy's, those are better than anything at any of the other places. But Five Guys has the better burgers. Five Guys has the better fries, but Wendy's has a much broader selection, and virtually everything they do is really good. And when I'm on the road and I'm driving someplace and I got to pull off, the one I'm going to every single time is the Wendy's, because the salads are good, although not as good as they used to be. Has anyone else noticed this? Like,
no one goes to fast food for salad.
Right.
I do. I know I'm weird, but literally, like, I'll get salads more often than I don't. But the salads are great. The baked potatoes, like, yeah, fries are great. But have you tried a fucking baked potato? They're really good. The Frosties, like, there's nothing bad about the Wendy's menus at all. And agree that the price point is a factor here. So, yeah, I think that Five Guys has better food, but I think Wendy's is a better chain, and for that reason, I'm going to put Wendy's forward.
There she goes.
Yeah.
And finally, I think this is a kind of a sweep. Does anyone here want to vote Raising Cane's over Taco Bell? Derek?
No, ma'am.
No, I would give it to Taco Bell on this. And I will say, I don't eat Taco Bell. I still give it to Taco Bell.
Yeah. So we have a final four of KFC versus McDonald's, Wendy's versus Taco Bell. That is, I think, like the fast food titans right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had to distill that universe down, that is the correct final four, which I always like to see. So we're going to start up KFC versus McDonald's. I'm going to give it to Curtis Creekmore first. Where are you going?
I just want to point out that two of these are owned by Yum. KFC and Taco Bell are both owned by one organization. So that should say something. I don't know exactly what it says, but it definitely says something. And KFC versus McDonald's goes to McDonald's every single time. And that is coming from someone who is from Kentucky, who grew up 11 miles away from the first Kentucky Fried Chicken. McDonald's is America. I will say it again, because when I think of my youth, I think of the play place. I think of the toys that I got that got me through my youth. And I, on more than one occasion, have bitten into something, whether, regardless of what it is, if it has the same flavor profile of a McDonald's cookie. You remember those cookies that came with the Happy Meal?
Yes.
The fact that we're calling it a Happy Meal and we know what we're talking about. Like that. It's a shortbread biscuit, but like I have bitten into things and I look at Michael and I'm like, this tastes like a McDonald's cookie. Like, that type of nostalgia is so strong for me. And like McDonald's, when I was a good boy, I went to McDonald's. Like that was the kind of thing. God, I'm fat.
I'm right with you. Derek Makita.
It's McDonald's for me. I mean, you all know I love a chicky tendy, but McDonald's, absolutely.
Michael Barber.
Yeah, McDonald's is like the golden arches standard of what fast food should be. It's like, God, I wish I still had all the toys from McDonald's that I grew up with, because like I can vividly remember playing with my brothers, like so many happy memories, as you know, with McDonald's as the source of those memories.
Yeah. And we haven't even really talked about the fact that McDonald's has created an entire like narrative universe with characters like that. We haven't even talked about that, which is brilliant marketing. You can be sitting here listening and be like, what the fuck does that have to do with the actual food? And it doesn't,
literally everything,
to a certain degree. Like if we're competing food versus food, I don't know that I would even give the edge to KFC there, honestly, because the fries at McDonald's are better than the fries at KFC. Which, sidebar, has anyone noticed that KFC is no longer doing the potato wedges? They've now gone to just fries.
That might only be by you, honestly.
Because back in Kentucky, they were, I think. We had potato wedges just this past year.
That's the other thing. Like, when's the last time you went to KFC, but when's the last time you went to McDonald's? Like, in my lifetime, I've been to McDonald's like so many more times. There's a reason for that.
Sure, that's fair. But I think, again, food-wise, I might give the edge to McDonald's. And in terms of franchises, I give the edge to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So McDonald's goes to the final two. I think that is completely fair. Next up, it's Wendy's versus Taco Bell. And I'm going to go to Michael Barber first.
Easy, Taco Bell. Like, it's at least once a month for us in this household. And it's just like each of us has like our standard orders we go to. It's like family to me. It just feels so familiar and comfortable, and I just love it. Like it's everything I want in fast food.
Derek Makita.
I am going to die on the Wendy's hill, and let me tell you why. All of the reasons we listed before about why Wendy's is a superior burger chain. There's just a freshness to it, and there's a variety to the menu items. And one of the things, serious callback to earlier in this podcast, when y'all were coming for me about the White Castle and regretting it. Listen, even you made a comment earlier about Taco Bell regretting it in the morning. You know you're going to regret it in the morning. I've eaten Wendy's so many times and never regretted it in the morning because it's good food. It's superior food. To me, it's Wendy's.
Curtis.
Don't make me do it.
I have to.
This is my Sophie's choice because these are two fucking magnets. They are so different and they are so amazing. And I actually have Taco Bell going to, like, that is my winner out of this entire thing. But after everything that we talked about and my inspirited defense of Wendy's, I have to go Wendy's.
Yes.
Yeah, so I will say that I was up for grabs on this one because I like the idea of having, I don't want to have two burger chains in the final two, just from a strictly like variety point of view. But at the same time, like my last Taco Bell experience was so blech that I can't in good conscience give it to the final two spot, even though I know how beloved it is. And I know that it has variety and it is something different. And I like all of those things. And I think they do a brilliant job marketing. But like from a food perspective, again, compared to like when I was a kid, it was great. As an adult, I'm just like, this has no flavor. Like even if I douse it with fire sauce, all I'm tasting is the fire sauce. The food is not satisfying to me. Whereas, but I admire what Michael was saying, that like for late nights, you get the box of like 12 Gorditas and you go to town with the blue Mountain Dew or whatever. Like that does resonate with me. Even if it's not good, it's still like what you do. But Wendy's is a superior chain, I think.
It is, yeah.
Let me just say this. We have a Taco Bell and a Wendy's very close to us, and we have limited fast food options nearby where we are in the suburbs of Boston. And the Wendy's and Taco Bell, so close by. Why do we always get Taco Bell and why do we never get Wendy's when we're picking up fast food?
Because that one specific Wendy's is so bad about delivering it on time, which is what I said earlier. You let one Wendy's be the bad, like it turned you off of all Wendy's.
It's not just that one. I feel like I've sat in several Wendy's drive-thrus and just waited and waited and waited. And Taco Bell, the majority of the times, is just, here's your food, go get home, get fat.
Ghost of Dave Thomas, you need to get on this because clearly there's a problem with the drive-thru at the Wendy's near Sharon, Massachusetts. There needs to be some divine intervention here. It is potentially losing you the crown.
All of that. My best friend in college was named Dave Thomas, and he got thrown out of a Wendy's for trying to say that he deserved free food.
Oh my God.
That makes me like Wendy's more. I have to say, like, Michael, you've done a great job explaining why Taco Bell should be in the final two, but I'm going down to like, down to my head, which one am I going to choose to order? I'm going with Wendy's here. I think the food is better. Sorry.
Well,
so we have a Wendy's versus McDonald's final two, which honestly was not what I was expecting. It was not, but I'm going to go first to Curtis Creekmore.
No. Oh my God. Why? Eric, how many podcasts have I been on now? Like,
I don't even know.
I feel like I'm ripping my soul. I'm Voldemort. I'm making a Horcrux and having to choose one of these two.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Lisa. This is literally the hardest decision I've ever had to make because they are both so great and so shitty at the same time.
Yes.
And that isn't that franchise food? Like you have to play that line of being food that you want to eat, but food that is available, food that you will get on time, creating a presence. Like so let's talk about that thing that you were talking about with McDonald's. Wendy's never really made anything past Wendy. Like you had that cool little girl. She has her own American Sign Language sign. I don't know if you knew that. But if you cross your pointer and middle finger to make like an X, that's an R in American Sign Language. And then if you do that with both hands and you pull it away from your head like the braids, that's Wendy's. I do not know what the McDonald's American Sign Language sign is. It very well may exist. But the fact that I still remember that, like Wendy's has its own American Sign Language sign instead of having to like finger spell it out, that says something to me. But
I think the McDonald's one is just like making a gut over your
Potbelly. Oh, another thing that wasn't on this podcast, Potbellies. Grimace. Who can make a fucking purple rounded isosceles triangle and sell something with it?
Curtis, call it what it is. It's a butt plug. We need to name it, and we need to name it for America.
Which can also make you grimace.
Absolutely.
You're not doing it right. Absolutely. Oh God, this is so hard, but yeah. Give me a purple butt plug. Put McDonald's down for me.
All right, I'm gonna go to Derek Makita.
Okay, so this might be my Sophie's choice, and it's telling that it's happening right at this last minute because I enjoy both of these restaurants, but I feel like I enjoy them differently. I too also have a shitty Wendy's near my house here in Rhode Island, and I wish it were better. And if I knew that there was a stellar Wendy's like 5 miles from my house rather than, a mile from my house, I would probably go there. Wendy's food is it's fresher, it's superior. And I hear what people are saying about the marketing aspect of things and the characters. And I think that one of the reasons why we were hooked on McDonald's so much when we were children was because of these characters, because McDonald's invented the Happy Meal, and it has that cultural cachet. As an adult, while I appreciate a lot of things about McDonald's, including the French fries, I do feel like they have the superior fries. Wendy's food is just better to me. It just is.
Yeah, I don't debate that Wendy's doesn't have better food, but if I'm looking at franchise, well, before I make my vote, I'm going to pass it to Michael Barber.
Hi.
Hi.
So, gosh, for me, honestly, Wendy's and McDonald's food-wise, really equal plane for me. I can't really say that one is better than the other. What it comes down to me for the decision is just a couple things. One is breakfast. I feel like McDonald's does something very special with breakfast that no other fast food restaurant does. How many times do you go crave McDonald's breakfast when you're going on a trip or something? And how many times do you crave Wendy's breakfast? Do they do breakfast? What is it?
Do they do breakfast?
They do.
I've never been because I don't care.
It's new. Yeah, it's new.
The other thing is, like I mentioned before, like just the toys at McDonald's is something so precious and so personally wonderful to me. Like I remember specifically the names of McDonald's toys that we had growing up, collecting them and then like creating little worlds with them with my brothers. It's like really precious playtime in my memory. It's something so special that I never got from, Wendy's, because did they have toys? I don't even remember. I don't care. It's McDonald's hands down.
Yeah, I will agree with Derek that if I'm choosing between the two for food purposes, I'm going with Wendy's. But in the same way that I think I picked Wendy's over Five Guys, and I think Five Guys has better food, I'm picking McDonald's over Wendy's from a franchise perspective because I think it is the more fully realized franchise. McDonald's transcends fast food. It transcends even America, I would argue. Mm-hmm. I think McDonald's is a cultural phenomenon. And Wendy's is really good at what it does. And it even kind of colors outside those lines with the sassy social media accounts. And it has an ASL sign, apparently. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of things that Wendy's is doing really, really well. But McDonald's does so much so well that like you even keep thinking like they have the play places, which is fucking brilliant. Like you can have your kids like going and getting, I don't know, typhus or whatever, but you can have 5 minutes of peace and quiet. And like they've got the whole Ronald McDonald thing. They have the toys. They have like a whole history of characters, some of which are not even used anymore. Like Mayor fucking McCheese. I'm just now remembering we had McDonald's dinner plates that we used to eat on as kids that had the characters on them, and we loved them as kids. It goes beyond just a restaurant to me. It goes like it is like firmly ingrained in our culture, and not just American culture. You can go all around the world and there's McDonald's everywhere, and they have their own various spins on it. On the one hand, it's both super obvious that this is the winner, right? Because like, duh, it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't think that makes it worth any less as a winner, because we kind of use McDonald's as a kind of just like easy word to describe cheap, easy food, the way that we use Kleenex to describe tissues, right? Like it is ubiquitous, it is omnipresent, and it is really fucking good at what it does. So, is it the best food out there? Nope. I don't think anyone on this podcast is saying it's the best food out there. Is anyone saying that?
Nope.
No.
Are they particularly experimental in their food?
Nope.
Nope.
They adding green food coloring to their milkshakes.
Sure.
I mean, they attempted a lobster roll, for God's sake.
And the
Did.
McRib.
The McRib, not the McRib, the Shamrock Shake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they have a lane, and not only do they stay in that lane, they own that lane. And like, there are many people who will attempt to kind of do a McDonald's type thing, but they don't do it as well as McDonald's does. Like, they just don't. So for that reason, for me, it's McDonald's, and I think that's 3-1. So are you comfortable with that being the winner, Derek?
I am. Again, this was my Sophie's Choice out of all of the brackets here, and I'm very comfortable with McDonald's winning because of all the points you just listed. I feel like I've said what I've said about Wendy's. I will stick to that, but I will concede.
All right. Well, I only have one more question. Do you want to supersize that? Okay, but seriously, there you have it. We have our winner in the best fast food franchise debate. Again, not unexpected, but I hope it's satisfying for you, and I hope you also have a free bathroom. To my panelists, I want to say thank you for being here. You are my favorite Happy Meal, and I want to thank everyone listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please head to our website to check out the other episodes we've recorded and see which polls are open for your votes. Subscribe to us on the podcast platform of your choice. Leave a review or a rating. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or consider supporting us on Patreon. We out for now. #NugLife. Have the best day ever.
Bye.
I'm loving it.